Thank you so much, and I'm going to sign it.
Oh, that's very good. I would. Thank you, fellas.
How are you? God bless you. We are praying for you.
Thank you. Right here.
Absolutely. We love you.
Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Virginia, Alabama, and Tennessee. That's our big one. And the devastation wrought by this storm is incredible. It's so extensive. Nobody thought this would be happening, especially now it's so late in the season for the hurricanes. Homes, hospitals, highways, and cars have been plunged underwater. Entire neighborhoods have been turned into lakes. Nobody's seen anything like it. And to every family that's been displaced here in Georgia and North Carolina, which has really been hit. We were going there also, and they don't have communication. They don't have anything right now. We're trying to. I just spoke to Elon. I'm getting him. We want to get Starlink hooked up because they have no communication whatsoever. And Elon will always come through. We know that. And so we're working on that, getting them hooked up. They asked me whether or not that would be possible. We're going to try and get the Starlink in there as soon as possible because they have no communication. And throughout the region, our hearts are with you, and we are going to be with you as long as you need. It's called an hour of need. You're in our prayers, and we pray to God. And throughout the long weeks that lay ahead, you're going to have a lot of work, but the end result is it's going to be good. We just wish so many people weren't so badly hurt, and in many cases, sadly, no longer with us. We love you. We love everyone. I mean, to be honest, we love everyone. And we'll be back, and we'll be back again soon. And we'll continue to help until you're bigger. I say bigger, better, stronger than ever before. But again, you can't ever discount the fact that people are lost. A lot of people have been lost in this terrible storm, this terrible hurricane. It's a storm that's also taken the lives of, I guess they have a count of 91, but that count changes on an hourly basis, and it goes only in one direction, unfortunately up, but at least 91 people already. And to the families and loved ones of those who have perished, we mourn alongside of you, and we grieve every single life so tragically lost. I'd like to now ask for a moment of silence and prayer, if you would, for those who have died. Thank you. Thank you very much. As you know, our country is in the final weeks of a hard-fought national election. But in a time like this, when a crisis hits, when our fellow citizens cry out in need, none of that matters. We're not talking about politics now. We have to all get together and get this solved. We need a lot of help. They have to have a lot of help down here. We look out for one another. We pull together. We pitch in. We persevere, and we pull it through. That is really the American spirit. That's what made America originally great.
Former President Trump visiting the state of Georgia, battered by Helene, helping to move emergency supplies as President Biden plans to tour the devastation in North Carolina. So where is Vice President Kamala Harris?
On Helene, people in Western North Carolina were drowning in their houses this weekend. Others were losing everything. President Biden was at his beach house, and Vice President Harris was hosting political fundraisers on the West Coast.
The president did exactly what a president in this moment needs to do, which is directing his team to take action. Look, and I talked about how the vice president also did her calls. She's going to be going to the FEMA agency and the center to get her briefing.
Former Governor of Arkansas, Mike Huckabee, was praised for his response during Hurricane Katrina, and he joins us now. Governor, good morning to you. It is just staggering what has happened to millions of people in the Southeast as a result of this storm. And of course, you've had experience dealing with natural disasters during your time as governor. So what do you think of the response from the candidates and the president so far?
Well, I really think Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have missed an opportunity. It's not a political one, it's a leadership opportunity. The reason they need to be there is not because they can fix it. Their presence doesn't make the water go away. It doesn't put people back in their homes. It doesn't save a life. Here's what it does. It calls attention to the severity of the storm. It causes people across the country to realize how bad this is. It's apocalyptic. There's no other way to describe it. And what hit Western Carolina is something that is just unprecedented in terms of the scope of it because it's destructive to its infrastructure. Their presence brings attention, which also means people across the world start donating, they start helping, they start realizing that this is a serious, more serious than ever situation. They missed that opportunity, and that's a shame. The second thing they do is they call attention to the fact that this is people first, paperwork second. They need to make that the policy of the government to put aside filling out forms and paperwork and saying our first and only responsibility right now is to take care of the people who are displaced, the people who are in danger. They blew it on both of them.
But there seems to be a pattern here, Governor, from East Palestine to Maui, now to North Carolina. Why does this Biden-Harris administration seem so slow to react? And many
Mr. President, why weren't you and Vice President Harris here in Washington commanding this weekend?
I was commanding. I was on the phone for at least 2 hours yesterday and the day before as well. I command. It's called a telephone. And all my security people.
Is it not important for the country to see?
Madam Vice President.
Thank you. Come on, this way. Go. This way.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. This way. Thank you. This way. This way. This way.
Thanks so much.
This way.
Heading out this way.
Folks, this way.
Thank you.
He is being treated not just as a former president, but almost as though he is a sitting president. As Boris, you just noted, getting a briefing from FEMA, getting a briefing from the National Guard. That is not something that is typically just offered to a candidate. They are treating him as though he is a former president who is there to help. And one thing that I had noticed earlier during our 1 p.m. conversation was that Donald Trump did not have that much to offer in terms of resources since he is not a sitting president. But I will note that he and the campaign say that they have arrived in that area with trucks full of supplies that they plan on giving out. So there is something there for them to offer. He also said that he had a tanker truck full of gasoline, which obviously, if you've ever covered one of these storms, you understand that one of the first things and hardest things to come by is gasoline. So he said that he was going to be giving that out. He is clearly taking this seriously as a politician is on the ground, trying to show that he is there in support of the people on the ground in Georgia.
Plunge, plunge, displace, displace, perished, perished, mourn, mourn, cry out in need, cry out in need, persevere, persevere, battered, battered, staggering, staggering, severity, severity, apocalyptic, apocalyptic, unprecedented, unprecedented.
If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with future videos. Thank you for watching.